Um, so, what is Montessori? I would assume that for many of you who don't have kids, are not really interested, or have been exposed to something like that, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about here. So, Maria Montessori was a 20th century scientist. She lived in Italy, and had the opportunity to work with disabled children and with poor children, and created a system of educating these children so that they were just as successful as their very rich counterparts and had the same means of achievement. So what Montessori is really about is exploit the child's natural curiosity for learning. And it interconnects, it works with the interconnectedness of the child with the rest of the universe. So I don't operate just by myself. I'm not a single unit. I operate within the universe, right? And so understanding this relationship at this early age is obviously very critical. They operate in an orderly environment, and I'm going to show you a picture to see the difference between a classroom of Montessori versus a classroom in a typical kindergarten or a daycare. It's very self-organized, and they focus on discipline and concentration. And the nice thing is they have multi-age environments. So they go from 0 to 18 months, and then from 18 months to 3 years, and 3 to 6 years, 6 to 9, 9 to 12, and then high school. So it's not like they bunch of people in, they group people according to their mental development rather than their education that they have to learn for that particular year. And then children work, not play. And they have morning and afternoon work periods, right, in which the child solely concentrates on the tasks that they have to achieve that day, and they repeatedly learn in that manner. All right, so here I was hoping to show you a video, but obviously I won't have time for that. So you can see the difference between the traditional daycare, right, where there's so much distraction, and the Montessori type of daycare, where it's very organized and it's primarily focused on order. All right, so what does a Montessori education teach? It teaches independence, leadership. It's self-paced learning, right? The child, herself or himself, focuses on when to learn what, depending on how far in advance they are in their curriculum. It's self-corrected learning, so all the materials that they utilize are structured in such a way that you understand when you make a mistake. So you go back and you correct yourself. You don't have to have the teacher correct you. It teaches internal sense of purpose, and it's self-motivated. So the children have their choice of activities they can do, so concepts they can learn, and so they're self-motivated in what they want to learn. It teaches imagination, autonomy. It's very focused on individual child, and it teaches high levels of concentration. So when I sat down and compared through all the reading I did on how the Montessori skills compare to the day skills, I got a very close match. And so I'm briefly going to run through some of these because, as I said, some of them are very adult-oriented. So just to give you an example of what the skill might look in a child's mind, right? So I didn't really see a tolerance for ambiguity between in Montessori curriculum, which is one of the skills that Bidet identifies. I did see decisiveness. So in a Montessori environment, children definitely learn how to make decisions in a certain environment because the materials that they work with, there's multiple ways to get to the end. And so you as an individual will choose how to get there, but it's your, obviously, you know that the end is achievable, but you just don't know how to get there. Open-mindedness is definitely a key concept of Montessori. Children are encouraged to discover multiple ways of working with each other, working with the materials. Managing internal conflicts is a key concept to Montessori. Children from a very early age are able to express their internal emotions. So when my daughter was 1.5 years, she could barely speak, but she could tell me, I am angry because. And so when you are able to verbalize the emotion that you experience, you can do something to address it, or people around you can do something to address it. So, attribution skills is being able to give the right cause to the or to attach the right cause to the event that happened. And definitely key in a Montessori, because again, the materials that these kids work with are very are structured in such a way. So when you put together a tower of pink cubes, for example, and the tower falls down, you will know that it fell down because you put the wrong cube in the wrong order, right? Or, you know, to that matter, if a child comes by and runs your tower, then you know what destroyed it. Tactical ingenuity, while competition is not taught in Montessori, it's much more of a peaceful teaching environment. They do teach the skills, or the skills that lead to a potential ingenuity. For example, the ability to freely arrive to an end, right? Self-control, children are definitely treated with respect, and they learn how to control their behavior and around the behavior of others. And sales skills, obviously, they won't teach the child to sell a product, but they do teach respect and good communication skills, good manners, and successfully working in groups, which are critical parts of being a good salesman, as I think many of us know. At the end, is there a conclusion? It does appear that Montessori has a close match with the skills identified by Bidet, but now are Bidet's skills right? Who knows? I think there's a lot more research that can be done. So can we say that with certainty that children in a Montessori philosophy would turn out to be entrepreneurs? No. There's a lot more factors that play into it. Maybe parents who send their children to a Montessori school are the type of parents that will be more entrepreneurial type, and therefore the child learns at school at home versus at school, right? And then how many years of Montessori school do you really need? Because Larry Page went to a preschool Montessori, but Sergey Brin, I think, went to elementary school. But they both ended up very successful afterwards. Ultimately, can we teach children entrepreneurial skills? I believe yes. But will every Montessori child turn out entrepreneurial? No. And a lot of suggested research, I think definitely comparison between current education systems and a set of defined entrepreneurial skills would be useful. Conduct a more detailed Montessori alumni data collection, and further research the influence of Montessori parents in forming entrepreneurs.